Yeah. So yeah, catch my breath for a minute. I'm in the process of losing this, so you might have to watch this space. Yeah. Drank too many coffees yesterday and still suffering for it. All bloated after a CPAP machine that last night. Struggling for air, of course, which is the reason why I'm trying to get rid of the gut. So I entered into a program. We'll see how that goes. Apart from starving myself. Right, as you can see the difference between the length of the grass that's the low side where it was all dry in that last year. Like you can see all the dry patch through here, which has all come back, and the high points around where you know you got more shed off the roof and that sort of thing blown off the roof when it's raining with the winds and stuff. More shed around the corner pathway where it gets all on the pathway and drains into the garden. So you can see what you're at, you know. If you had a piece of poly pipe, split down it, put over that, I don't know if you can see that, put over that roof there, and then, you know, have drain at each end. All that area will get saturated as well, probably flood the shed out. But same thing there, if it had like some drippers down, it would, of course, flood the whole garden. So a very interesting thing on in Arizona. These couple there, they dug a big ditch with a backhoe and then put a whole heap of gravel in the bottom, which is what I said years ago up at Cokeville. There's a lot of rocks in that area, and I said, why don't we just dig a big hole, or even strips down the paddock, chuck all the rocks and that in there, put some hay bales in there for absorbing the water and stuff, and then once the hay bales, small square hay bales, and then fill the dirt in, so when the water soaks through, it will hit the hay bales, stay wet, the rocks, that's why I'm layering rocks on top, and then cover it with soil, so that way it will keep the ground temperature really, really cold. It's like in America when they put ingenious and hydrate. Hydrant, no, that's right. The stuff in before they plant the corn and stuff to make it so it sets properly. That's the sort of thinking I had 25 years ago, 30 years ago now. Yeah, I was in late 20s I was. Yeah, so that's the idea I had for up there. It was all sand, dry country, lots of rocks around everywhere, poles and poles in people's paddocks, and thought, oh, a good way to try to put it into the soil. And it's just like putting a Aggie pipe down and letting everything soak into it and keep the water in the ground, you know what I mean? But yeah, Arizona, what they did is they put the poly pipe in, and on top of the actual gravel, then they had these stands coming up out the ground with a hook over like that, see? So when it gets cool, it can take air in, and then it'll go down to the depths, and then they piped it into their, I don't know what house, I think it was their household building. So it's free air conditioning basically. All the pipe was sealed, so all the air was getting into the pipes, and then you know, like, because it could go into the pipes because of the hook on the ends of it, and the poly pipes, and they'll spread out, you know, say every 6 to 10 feet, I think, something like that, in a big trench with the gravel underneath it, so that gets cold and damp, right, at the cold level under the ground, and then it cools the air in the pipe, and then, yeah, into the house. Smart idea. Wind blows a little bit outside and that, and breeze goes into the house. Free air conditioning. Good tip. Right, back to this. If I find things like that, you know, that's why I'd rather just talk to them while I'm having a breather, although I'm using more air than what I bloody am taking in. So back into it. You know what I always say. case you're wondering why I'm emptying it over there all the time, it's because you remember that dead patch, dry patch. So I'm lightly mulching it by that stuff I'm leaving there. You don't want to have too much on it because then it rots underneath with this rain we're having. I've got nearly a full bin already. I'll definitely have one by the time I finish. Another thing too, when you mow your own lawns and stuff like that, and don't throw your clippings over the fence to the animals, because it gets fumes on it, it gets oil and petroleum on it, petrol and that, or diesel, whatever you're running, I don't know what you're running. But don't throw it over to your animals. Basically try to mulch it out or use it on your gardens or something, and leave it sit for a while to compost down too. And don't just throw it on your garden because then it leaches into the soil straight away around your flowers. We can go backwards. So yeah, have somewhere you can put it on the ground, chuck some soil, or if you've got animals, put manure and stuff on it, cover it in tarp and just leave it for a while.